The motivation for the day is life. It's life. The motivation for today is life. And I'm going to tell you what inspired this conversation. But before I tell you what inspired this conversation, let me bring you up to speed because Ananda Lewis, who was a former, and this might be before a lot of y'all time, some of y'all are of a certain age, so you get it, but others of you are not of a certain age. So it may not be applicable to you, but this was a very, very, very beautiful girl that used to be a VJ on MTV. They used to call him VJ, a video DJ basically, or a video jockey. And MTV was pretty much the pioneer of bringing music videos to the mainstream media and then bringing audiences in. And then obviously you had the transition. You had 106 in Park, which the BET Awards kind of celebrated the other day. But Ananda Lewis was one of the pretty young women growing up that we used to see on TV on a regular basis. And she's recently died from breast cancer at 52. And so I pulled up this video because this was a video where she was kind of talking about and speaking about not just her diagnosis, because it had, kind of been going through her diagnosis and stuff like that, but she was kind of speaking about, what her thoughts were moving forward. And this video, I believe, was like 7 months ago. And so this is kind of, what she was saying. Even with her early detection, even with her catching it, she still succumbed to breast cancer at 52 years old the other day.
And most black women have higher kind of fibrous breasts, they call it. So I have a lot of granular feeling, lumpy things in my breast anyhow. So sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between what's what. When I felt the tumor that I then months later found out was actual cancer, it felt different. And I was like, oh, it stops you. You go, oh, that's different. And then you have to figure out, your path forward. So my path forward started with way more integrated or way more what we call alternative. I call it natural. And, unfortunately, I didn't have the early detection. So I didn't have the benefit of time being on my side. And the longer time went with me doing the alternative way, and I did literally everything. I mean, I have a list that is mind-blowing of how much I spent, how much I did. Either way, it's expensive. But it wasn't working. And it was helping me in some ways. It was supporting my body, but it wasn't killing the cancer. And so I had to sit with myself and go, listen, the goal is living, not being stubborn, right? And because of that, I had to open myself up to what we call an integrative approach, or I had to do a bit of conventional. I had chemotherapy, but I did a 10% genetically targeted insulin potentiator. I did a very fancy chemo, right? And that allowed me to keep my body's health high, and which is great because then, your body has to heal you out of it. Ultimately, drugs are super helpful, right? I'm way open to drugs now. And I wasn't in the beginning, but I see the benefit for myself. I know for myself I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the chemotherapy, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my discipline, and all of it has had to come together in this journey. So it's been interesting.
Now, this woman succumbed to her disease. I don't know if that's how you label it, disease and all of that stuff, but she succumbed to her disease at 52 years old. Still gorgeous, still beautiful, still unproblematic. Never caused a wave, never caused a problem, never was an issue to anybody, seemed to really be a beautiful soul, and she still succumbed to the disease. And so, on one hand, it's difficult for me to, because I know that we had these conversations on the Millionaire Morning Show on After Hours, and, we kind of deviate and stuff like that. And one of the things that people always say to me is, I believe that karma is real. I don't. I think that you get whatever it is that you plant into the soil. Sometimes it's good to be lucky. We lucky to be born in the United States of America. We lucky to be United States of American citizens, which is one of the reasons why I don't complain about the state that we're in the United States of America, because I could have been born anywhere else in the world. We all have a level of privilege. We was born at a time, for example, I was born at a time as a black man where there's never been a better time to be a black man in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? I could have been born in the 1600s or the 1500s or something. And, I think about life from that lens when I see good things or good people succumb to nasty diseases and injuries and stuff. And I know that we can get into the health journey. From my research of her, she was pretty healthy. She was pretty focused on what she put into her body and all of that stuff. But guess what? Life happens to everybody. And even the word of God says, it rains on the just and the unjust. It rains on the just and the unjust. That's why I lean on it. And I say this regularly, and I know that people are starting to become numb to it, but I'm going to keep saying it and I'm going to keep beating it into you until you understand it. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. You can't control the cards that you was dealt. The only thing that you can do is make the best of a situation. But here's the other thing that I tell people in my social circle. This is what I tell people that are closest to me, okay? And you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to expound a little bit more on it because your car asked the question and he said, what is the life lesson today? And I said, life. And I say this with regard to relationships, but I'm saying it in general. This is how I live my life. I spend 98, 90, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I spend 98, 99% of my time focused on the things that I love. I spend 98, 99% of my time focused on the things that I love. The thing that I love about you. I don't spend my time. I try my hardest. And sometimes I even get frustrated in real life at some of the people that is surrounded by me because they choose to spend so much time focused on this menial bullshit, stuff that don't matter. At the end of her journey, Ananda Lewis, I would like to think, because the only thing that she could talk about, considering what she was diagnosed with, is I want to live, I want to live, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I would venture to say that at the end of her journey, she wasn't focused on all of the little menial bullshit that she probably somebody owed you $5 or I can't believe you talked to me this way. One of the things that I've learned to do, and the people that's closest to me, I got to do a better job at this, but I've trained myself not to care about text messages. You know why I don't care about text messages or responding too much to text messages? Because I believe, and all of you probably are familiar with this, I believe, let me get this off the screen. Shout out to her. Rest in peace to her. I hope her family is doing well. Some of you can probably relate to this, but what I've learned is that miscommunication often comes at times when you're texting. And so I choose not to text a lot because it could be miscommunicated and people can take whatever it is that you text to mean whatever they apply their own tone to it is based off of how they feel at the time and all of that. And so, I found that the more that I text, the worse form of communication for me is text messages. And so if it's not on some, general stuff or some business stuff or whatever, I usually don't really get into it. And I probably overtrain myself in it because I don't like to be misunderstood. And I'd rather actually talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So I found that when I send a message and then people start feeling some type of way, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop that. And I try to program the people that are closest to me to, hey, listen, what are you talking about? This is stupid. Why are we spending so much time on this? Don't be so emotional. Focus on the things that's positive. Focus on the things that's successful. You know why? Because you don't know when the end is near. You don't know. We always talking about what's going to happen in the future. A lot of y'all like to be overly biblical and stuff like that. Oh, man, I'm only reading Revelations and this is what's going to happen. We at the end of times. Your end of times may be tomorrow. Your end of times could be 40 years from now, 50 years from now. And so when people a lot of times spend time with me or they hang out with me or you meet me at a meetup, shout out to the bag chasers. I live it all right then and there. I'm in the moment. I'm truly present for whatever it is that I'm doing. I say what I really mean and I mean what I say. I never played a politically correct game because it's not worth it to live life in these parameters of foolishness or not focusing on the things that's meaningful, especially with the people that's the most meaningful in your life, We have a limited amount of time. We got a finite amount of time on this earth. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Are we going to waste our time and continue to focus on the things that don't matter? Or are we going to spend our time focusing on the things that's meaningful? Because at the end of the journey, and trust me, I've seen too many people die. I've been to too many funerals, and I've seen too many people, it seems like, die before their time or go before their time. Apparently, it wasn't before their time. It was just their time. Old, young, all of that. And what I found is the thing that you then don't regret is the time that you spent more meaningful moments with the person that you really care about. What's up, Nicole? Welcome. What up, Nicole R? The thing that's the most meaningful. Stop wasting time on this stupid nonsense. Promise you, it's not worth it. People be, so dumb. The stuff that we really care about, oh, he stepped on my toe. I don't like the way you said this. Um, you could be on vacation, you could be having a good time, you could be, I remember one time I was chilling and the conversation was just like stupid. It was just really dumb. And I was like, yo, what we doing? Are we about to have sex? Are we about to have a good time? What we gonna do? Or we focusing on this dumb shit? And they couldn't let it go. They just couldn't let it go. And I was like, you know what? I feel you. And this is a true story. You know what? Because they couldn't let it go. They kept going down that path. And the older I get, the less tolerant I am for spending time on things that don't matter. And so I said, you know what? I hit him with the classic. You got it. You got it. That's it. I started getting my book bag together, putting my laptop up, make sure I got all my cords. Where you going? What you about to do? What you about to do? Better things. Better things. Better things. Peace. Be still. Peace, be still. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I'm not trying to figure it out with people. I'm not trying to make it make sense in your mind. I'm gone. Call me when you get yourself together or don't. Either way, I'm gone. No, I'm not. Life. Lord, give me more life. More life. More life. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And it doesn't mean that you can't be forgiving. Don't mean that the person can't come back from it. Don't mean that you can't, you know what I'm saying, figure out, leave that under, let it bridge under the water, cool. Don't let the wrath go down, sun go down on your wrath, all of that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, see, look at Anthony Washington. We're not going to even highlight. I would usually highlight comments like that, but now I've put a greater barrier to entry. You know how you filter out people that are ignorant? You know how you filter out dumbasses? You start to put rules in place that they can't skip over because they literally are in an arrested development mindset. So you say, hey, everybody got to put a profile picture up before you can highlight their comment unless they super chat. Then that just makes all of the dusties. Now they arguing with themselves. Not it. Nope. No focusing on nobody with a profile picture. We don't know who this person is. He could be in his basement. Just got done jacking off. He got jizz in his socks. We don't talk to people that got jizz in their socks. We just keep on going. We don't waste our time with people that got jizz in their socks. You still a teenager. We don't even talk to people that don't got a profile picture no more. We don't disclude them. We gonna let them argue with themselves, but we don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? We laugh at these people. One of the things that Ananda said is stress is directly tied to your health, as even when it comes to cancer, and I believe that. I believe that stress is directly tied to your health and whether or not you develop cancer. We don't talk to people that got jizz in their socks at all. Put your wiener up and then come back and then we can have a conversation. Now, when you want to talk like an adult to the adults, then we'll address you. And first, you got to get a profile picture. First, I laugh at these raggedy niggas. Yo, it was a dude that y'all sent me a DM on Instagram, and it was a dude that was simp. It was some new simps that's trying to get some traction. I'm not gonna say their name because I don't want to give them any visibility, but they took the video and they said, yeah, I don't understand these dudes. It's the sassy man syndrome because you know they talking about you shouldn't talk to a single mother if you a man that got that don't have any kids, that you shouldn't marry a single mother. And he cloud chasing, cloud chasing, cloud chasing, and so I was just like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. He trying to create content. I get it. Do your thing, big dog. Do your reaction videos, sit in your car, create your content, get your money. Get your money, big dog. You got to get a bigger platform before I respond to you. You got to get a bigger platform. But you know what the funny part about it is? I extend the same grace to women. I tell women, hey, listen, you want to be a step baby mama? That's on you. I can only really speak to it from a man perspective. But if a woman tells me, yo, Anton, I don't know if I could deal with another woman's kids, I'm not tripping. I get it. I'm in support of you, queen. It's the same thing for women. I can't speak on it as far as what I would advise you to do based off of what I would do because I'm not a woman, but I get it. If you say, yo, I don't want to deal with a dude that got small children and I don't want to deal with a dude that got kids, I get it. I feel you. I feel you. Ain't nothing wrong with you having preferences. But again, the point is that let them have their time. Let them have their moment. Let them create their content. Don't be getting bent up out of shape. Don't get bent out of shape at all. They watching you, not the other way around. They watching you, not the other way around.